Good morning, beautiful souls. You're tuned into Blue Mountain Morning on this magical St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. The world's already feeling a little greener and luckier, isn't it, Mark?
It absolutely is, Alex. And speaking of luck, we've got to give a special shout out to Rita, who recently recommended our podcast to her dad, Charles. Welcome to the Blue Mountain family, Charles.
Oh my God, yes. We're so excited to have you join us, Charles. You know what they say, the family that podcasts together stays together. I mean, that's not really a saying, but maybe it should be.
Let's make it one. Now, let's start this Monday morning with some clarity and connection as we help you navigate the day ahead with a little extra Irish blessing. You know, on this St. Patrick's Day, there's something really fascinating about Irish-American identity that I've been thinking about. It's not just about green beer and shamrocks, it's incredibly diverse and complex.
Oh my God, totally. Like, my neighbor's from Northern Ireland, and she's always telling me how different her experience is from what people expect. It's not all Danny boy and Boston accents, right?
Exactly. Whether you're talking about recent immigrants or families who've been here since the 1800s, there's no single Irish-American experience. Some came from the Republic, others from the North, and they all brought their own unique perspectives and traditions.
Speaking of immigration, and this is wild timing, there's actually some pretty serious stuff happening in Boston right now. The Trump administration is in hot water with a federal judge over deporting a doctor who was legally working here.
This is particularly significant because it's not an isolated incident. There's also a case of a German-born green card holder being detained, raising real concerns about broader immigration enforcement practices in the Boston area.
Ugh, this is getting intense. Can we talk about how they literally went against a court order? Like, who does that?
It's definitely unprecedented. Trump administration officials are due in federal court in Boston today to answer what the judge calls serious allegations that they disobeyed his order by sending the Lebanese-born doctor back to Lebanon. In a different case, the Trump administration has deported alleged members of a Venezuelan gang from the U.S., also despite a court order forbidding it from doing so, saying in an extraordinary statement that a judge did not have the authority to block its actions.
Not the authority. How so?
Well, the deportation operation followed a move by Judge James Boasberg to block President Donald Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act's wartime powers to rapidly deport more than 200 alleged members of Tren de Aragua. This Venezuelan gang has been linked to kidnapping, extortion, and contract killings. And while we're covering serious developments, we need to address the devastating tornadoes that just tore through the Midwest and South. At least 40 people have lost their lives.
That's absolutely heartbreaking. And it really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Like, while we're debating policy in courtrooms, there are communities literally being torn apart.
These storms have been particularly severe, affecting multiple states. It's a stark reminder of both our vulnerability to natural disasters and the importance of community support during these crises.
And the emergency response teams, they're out there right now, aren't they? In the middle of all this destruction, just trying to help people rebuild their lives?
Yes, they are. Local emergency services and FEMA are on the ground, working around the clock. It's going to be a long recovery process for many of these communities. You know, there's something really fascinating happening with retirement these days. The whole concept is basically being turned on its head by millennials and Gen Z.
Oh my God, don't even get me started. Like, my parents keep talking about their 401ks, and I'm just sitting here wondering if I'll ever own a house.
That's exactly it. The traditional model of working for 40 years and then retiring at 65 with a pension? That ship has pretty much sailed for younger generations.
Sailed? More like sunk, but seriously, what are people actually doing instead?
Well, we're seeing this really interesting shift toward what some are calling mini-retirements or the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. Though it's not really about retiring in the traditional sense.
Wait. You're telling me some people are actually figuring this out? Because right now, my retirement plan is basically hoping my TikTok goes viral.
Actually, many younger people are creating portfolio careers, mixing full-time work with side hustles, passive income streams, and periodic breaks.
I've noticed that. My friend Sarah literally works 3 months on, 1 month off. She calls it her sanity system.
That's becoming more common. Instead of waiting until 65 to enjoy life, people are restructuring their entire relationship with work. They're prioritizing flexibility and experiences over the traditional career ladder.
But let's be real here. Isn't this kind of forced? Like, we're not choosing this because we're so wise and enlightened. We literally can't afford the old way.
You raise a crucial point. With housing costs skyrocketing, student debt at record levels, and traditional pensions disappearing, younger generations are having to get creative out of necessity.
It's kind of wild, though. We're basically reinventing what it means to retire. Like, my grandparents' version of retirement seems as outdated as their flip phones.
The statistics are pretty striking. Only about 51% of millennials are actively saving for retirement, and many expect to work well past 70, not because they want to, but because they'll need to.
Okay, but here's what keeps me up at night. What happens when we're actually old, like genuinely old and can't work anymore?
That's the million-dollar question. We're seeing more emphasis on building multiple income streams, investing in digital assets, and creating community-based support systems. It's less about the golden watch and more about sustainable long-term flexibility.
So basically, we're all just winging it and hoping for the best? Cool.
I'd say we're adapting. The world of work has changed dramatically, and retirement is changing with it. Whether we like it or not, we're pioneering new ways of thinking about life, work, and what it means to retire. You know, as we wrap up today's deeper discussions, I'm reminded of something profound about change and identity.
Oh no, Mark's getting philosophical again, but go on, I'm actually intrigued.
Just like how Irish-American identity has evolved into this beautiful tapestry of different stories, our own lives are constantly adapting and transforming. Sometimes the changes we face aren't what we expected, but they shape who we become.
Like how we're all rewriting the rules for our futures.
Exactly. And maybe that's exactly where our strength lies. Not in resisting change, but in flowing with it. Like water finding its way around rocks in a stream.
And that's all we've got for you this beautiful St. Patrick's Day morning. Thanks for starting your day with us here at Blue Mountain Morning.
If you're enjoying our little morning chats, why not share them with someone who could use a moment of calm in their day? You know, like Rita did with her dad, Charles. Thanks for that, by the way.
Oh, and if you want a personal shout out, just shoot us an email at bluemountainmorningpodcast@gmail.com. We absolutely love hearing from you guys.
We'll be back tomorrow morning with more stories to help you find your center in this crazy world.
Until then, stay unhinged. Stay grounded, everyone.
Oh, Alex.